Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, the #1 place for entrepreneurs where I give you the keys you need to succeed. And I know it has been a minute, okay? This year's been a lot, but I definitely want to get back to posting more, not consistent like weekly videos, but little check-ins because I do miss posting long form content, but I just don't always have time. So today we're going to do a cute little video, 25 things that 2025 has taught me. So let's get into it. First off, let me say that this year has been extremely transformational. When I tell you the highs, the lows, like this year has really taught me so much, and I definitely want to give you guys a little bit of those lessons and just kind of explain some of the things that I've learned in 2025. Now, obviously, I won't just pretend that I'm just a know-it-all because there's still so much that I'm learning every single day, but I do feel like I learned a lot of valuable lessons this year. So the first lesson I've learned is I thrive when my life is calm. So for so long when you're building a business, I just had this mentality that I need to be go, go, go all the time, foot to the pavement, pedal to the metal, and just constantly exhausting myself. And what I've learned that I thrive, my business thrives when I have a calm environment. So all of my calm mornings, just resetting my mind, making sure I'm the best I can be has really just shown itself to do wonders in my business and my personal life and everything. So calm over chaos any day. The second thing I learned is that a healthy relationship will not distract you. So obviously I have been married, I have been in relationships all of the time I've had my business. I've had my business for 11 years now. And what I've learned is that healthy, and I always joke and say boring. Obviously I don't want a boring relationship, but give me a boring relationship. Give me something that's going to be steady that I can just count on, that I don't have to worry about, and it will help you. It will help you in your life, help you build your business, all of the things, and I'm learning to love that stage. The third thing is to stop romanticizing potential. And it's crazy because as somebody who's an entrepreneur, I'm constantly looking for the good in people, whether that be business, relationships, friendships. I'm always giving people the benefit of the doubt. I'm always looking for the good in everyone and everything. I'm always like, okay, well, maybe this is why they're like this. No. We need to look at people's patterns, we need to look at people's consistency, and we need to see what type of energy they're bringing to the table, whether that be in a work relationship or a personal relationship. I definitely learned to stop looking at people's potential and just look at what is right here in front of me. The fourth lesson is my best schedule changes everything. So this is the first year I will wholeheartedly say I absolutely love my schedule at the studio, my work schedule. I definitely delegated a lot, and I learned to pass some classes off as well as some tasks that were reoccurring, things that other people could get done easily that would take up a lot of my time. And I will say genuinely my teaching schedule is one of my favorites that I've ever had, and it's allowed me to focus more on working on the business rather than working in the business consistently. That leads me to my next one, number 5. Delegation is a form of self-respect, point blank, period. While I can do a lot of stuff by myself, I don't need to. There are so many things that can get done and should get done by other people, and I always say stop doing $20 an hour jobs when you could be doing $1,000 an hour jobs, $500 an hour jobs, things that only you could do to grow your business. And I've really honed in on that this year, and it was able to really kind of pass things off and focus on what I need to be focusing on. Number 6, I'm a better leader when I'm regulated. So I always say conquer yourself before you conquer the world. And I think people kind of laugh sometimes because I do have these quiet mornings and I have these things that kind of get me refocused and ready to tackle and take on a whole bunch of crazy things. But it's like, if I don't do that, I had to realize it's one of those things that's important, but it's not always urgent. So when you don't do it, you start to really see the repercussions of it over time. I realized when I stay consistent and I'm working out, I'm journaling, I'm meditating, I'm praying, I'm doing all the things that I need to be doing, I make for a much better leader. Number 7 is the business runs better when I'm not emotionally exhausted. Okay, so obviously the past couple years, like I said, going through divorce was very mentally, emotionally drained, and I wasn't able to not only put everything that I wanted to in my business, but there's a lot of things that you don't realize that you're just doing the bare minimum. You don't even have the mental capacity to think about things that will grow your business, think about things that will help your business thrive, because all you are able to do are the things that you have to do. And it's crazy being on the other side of things now and kind of just being in a better space mentally, emotionally. And I have time to think like, okay, what can I do for this person? How can I make this moment special for my kids? How can I make the studio better? Whereas before I wasn't really even able to focus like that. Number 8, mental space is my most valuable resource. I always joke because my mind moves 1,000 miles an hour. And I used to actually hate myself for it. But when I started realizing that that's actually my superpower, I'm able to hone in and really focus and use kind of like my mind that overanalyzes everything to also overanalyze good things and overanalyze things that can make myself, my business, my relationships, everything better. And when I really learned how to do that, it just made everything better. Number 9, I finally had time to focus on the extra things that I wasn't able to focus on before. Like I mentioned, I was just not in a space prior years, and this is really the first year where I have been in the space. Something as small as decorating. Like I used to say, I hate decorating, I hate shopping, I hate doing all of these things that are kind of more like not big picture things, because all I was able to focus on was the big picture. And once that was out of the way and I was able to kind of relax and regulate myself, I actually do enjoy those things. Like I actually do enjoy decorating my house, and I actually do enjoy planning little things for the studio, but I just wasn't in the space before to do that. So this year really taught me a lot on how I work best, addressing the big things first, making sure I'm taken care of, and then obviously like addressing all the small things and really thriving and enjoying those moments and not just doing them to get them out of the way. Number 10, consistency on your inner work changes how you show up. So like I said, I'm always trying to focus on making myself better in all capacities, making sure that I'm focusing and conquering myself before I conquer the world. And it really does make all of the difference. So my favorite thing to do in the morning is to journal, pray, and read. And when I don't do those things, you can just tell a difference, trust me. Number 11, I trust myself more when I slow down. Stillness is my superpower, I promise you, along with the mind and the thinking. But I like to actually allocate time to just sit and think, and I'll allocate time to think about specific things. Like I'm gonna explore this at this time, and I like to make sure I have that stillness. I like to make sure I purposely set aside time where I'm not listening to music, I'm not listening to podcasts, there's nothing playing. I'm just sitting and thinking and just being still and at one with myself, because it really does make a difference in how you show up. Number 12, and this is a big one, I stopped being at war with my body. So obviously if you are a dancer or if you any type of athlete growing up, you probably have really high standards for your body, and I'm about to be 35. So it is a big difference, because me and my body, it's changing a lot. I also went through a couple of medical things this year where I was like taking medicines that were just, I was all out of whack, and I had to completely release control, because when I tell you, I just like, I'm dieting, I'm exercising, nothing's changing, things are getting worse. I had to release control and realize that I still value the body that I have. I'm still grateful for the body that I have, and I'm still nourishing it and making sure that I show up the best that I can. But it definitely took a little bit of rewiring to get there. So I'm glad I finally got there this year. So moving along with that, number 13 is your body deserves patience, not pressure. So I also found that the more pressure I put on myself to get fit, to look a certain way, I was just stressing myself out. And I realized that patience really is key. Slow and steady wins the race, especially when it's something like your body and your nutrition. Number 14 is you don't get everything that you wish, work, and pray for. And that was a big one to me, because I had this mentality that you don't lose at something, you don't not get something that you want, you just simply give up too early. I always had this idea that if you work for something, if you pray for something, if you wish for something, if you do things properly, you're going to get it. There's nothing that you can't get. And this year, and I don't want to get emotional, but this year definitely taught me that there's things that you can wish, hope, and pray for, and the answer is still no, you know. And that's why I got this tattoo that I got this year that says even if, because I had to realize that I had to trust God. You know, everything that you want is not going to happen, but even if things do not happen, you still have to trust God. You still have to know that you are on your path, you're going to get whatever's meant for you. But that was a big one, especially coming from someone who is an extremely hard worker and who's very strategic, that you're just not going to get everything. And that's okay. And going along with that, number 14, acceptance doesn't mean defeat, it means peace. So the sooner that you accept that whatever is meant for you is not going to miss you, you are not going to ever miss out on something that is meant for you, then you'll be at peace. And that's something that I also was battling with this year, because you know, you don't want to accept things. When things don't go your way, you don't always want to accept it. But the sooner that you accept whatever's meant to happen will happen, you'll be a lot happier. Number 16, this year really taught me that planning for the future does not make me feel defeated, it makes me feel grounded. So especially coming from a situation where you just did not see it coming, you did not expect your life to go this way, you did not plan this, as I'm sure 99% of people have gone through. I really was at the point where I was like, I don't even want to plan anything, because what's the point? I can plan something, but that's clearly not what's going to be happening. It's not what's happened. What is the point? And I really had to get excited again about planning and about hoping and wishing for future things, because it just gives me more power, obviously, to plan things while I'm still releasing control of certain things. I did start getting excited again about planning certain aspects of my life. So number 17 is leadership means making hard decisions. So this year definitely taught me about making hard decisions in my career and leadership. As a business owner, there's so many times where I see things, I don't always say things. I'm just constantly taking notes. If you know anything about situations I've been in, I'm very calm and collected in situations where things are messed up and I notice people are moving funny. And with that being said, I will just like process things and take a while to process things. But what I learned this season is that I have to be swift with how I move with things, especially when they can have a bad effect on my business. It could be detrimental for my business. And as a leader, you don't always want to make those hard decisions. You want to believe the best in people. But what I learned this year is that sometimes those hard decisions have to be made, because if you don't cut out certain cancers, they're going to grow. So definitely learn to do that. Number 18 is you can hold multiple roles without losing yourself. So it's really easy as a business owner to lose yourself and to become completely wrapped up in everything that has to do with business. But what this year taught me is you can be a successful business owner, but also a great friend, and also a great daughter, and also and have other hobbies outside of your business, and thrive in other areas of your life. Because before, I was only focused on that, and I wasn't putting the time into other things as much as I should have. But this year I was really able to kind of take a step back and realize that other things are important too, and put my time and energy in those things as well. And instead of taking away from the business, I will say it even added to the business, because it made me kind of come to the business refreshed and ready to work. Number 19 is I make decisions faster because I trust myself more. So especially coming off of a situation where you made such a big life decision and it was not the correct life decision, I did not trust myself, and I was lollygagging and taking my time with making big decisions with the business. And something that's funny is I even got this keychain. It is a coin. It says yes and no, and I still use it, but at the time I got it because I was having such anxiety with making decisions, big, small, any decision. I would just sit there and like not be able to make a decision. So I got that because I'm like, sometimes I need a little help deciding. But I started to learn to trust myself again. I started to learn to validate what I was thinking, validate my original thoughts that I typically had, and just realize that you do have the knowledge and the power to and the authority to make those decisions for myself, whether that's big or small. But that is something that I had to lean back into, because it took a little minute. I was like, I'm scared. I don't know what to do for the longest. So learning to trust myself in my decision making is huge. Number 20 is I don't need external validation to feel solid. When I tell you, when things are aligned, when you're moving and you're acting and you're walking in your purpose and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, you don't need that external validation. And that's one thing I think that I was missing, especially with the decision making issue. I was looking for validation from so many outside sources, and not the source, not myself. And now that I'm aligned and truly doing what I'm supposed to be doing, I feel like I don't need that validation anymore. Like, I just focus on what I'm supposed to be doing and trust myself and trust my instinct. Number 21 is my nervous system matters just as much as my ambition. Now, obviously, we're always gonna love ambitious women aren't everything. I absolutely love that about myself. It's one of my favorite qualities, but I also realize that my nervous system and making sure that I am completely aligned with how I'm supposed to be moving, I'm eating the right things, I'm getting enough sleep, I'm taking care of myself mentally, physically, emotionally. All of that is just as important as being ambitious. Number 22 is I've built a life that supports me back. And I will say, especially being, starting the studio when I was young, being in a relationship for most of it, I wasn't super focused on making sure that everything was sustaining me. I was like, okay, the studio's sustaining itself, I'm making a lot of money, I'm putting it back into it. I wasn't really focused on like, okay, are you making sure you're taken care of? Are you making sure you're taking care of the back end? Are you making sure you're taken care of and 30 years? Are we doing things like that? And I will say now building a business that's also taking care of me and making sure that I'm taken care of is a blessing. Number 23, this year wasn't about reinvention. It was about returning to myself. I truly feel like how I operated prior to all the crazy prior years is making a comeback. I move how I used to move. I'm moving in line with my purpose. I'm moving and focusing on myself, on my growth, on personal development. And those are all things I've absolutely been in love with that kind of got away from me in the past couple of years. So that return is crucial. Number 24 is I am who I am in this season, and to just accept that. Now, while I am, like I said, personal development is important, making sure that you're always trying to grow as a person and accepting that, yeah, life might not look how you thought it was going to look, but it's beautiful. And it's amazing when you can recreate something that you did not picture looking a certain way, but instead you made it even more beautiful, even more powerful, and even more impactful than you were in the first place. So that's been amazing. Number 25 is to just be happy and to enjoy your life with where you're at. Of course, there's so many times where you wish you're in a different place. I used to wish I was in a different place. And I still, of course, there's things that I want. But really just taking the time to enjoy my life every day. And I always say, what are you going to say? Remember that time when you were 30-something living in Atlanta and you were just so worried about getting to the next step that you didn't enjoy this beautiful time that you had? And then I say, if your life was a movie and people were watching it on the big screen, what would they be telling you to do? And I truly felt like this year they would be telling me to enjoy and to just relax and to have fun and to cherish your relationships and don't let this time pass with any regrets. So that's what I've been doing. That's what 2025 has taught me. Put in the comments what 2025 has taught you, and I will see you guys next time. Have a great day and a successful life. Bye.